Queen, I want to break free. All right, some pretty basic chord progressions here. There's also some synth stuff we can get into, which is pretty fun. I'll play through all the different sections right off top here. Afterwards, I'll come back through, give you a little more guided explanation there. Before we dive in, hit that subscription button, help out the channel. I'd appreciate it a lot. All right, and no further ado, let's do it. Okay, so initially we get this synth chord intro, and it's a progression we'll see again a little later in the interlude section, but it's just going to kind of descend with some chords here and then come back up. We'll start with a C sharp minor here, so 4 on the A, 6 on the D and G, 5 on the B. Okay, and we go from there, and then we just kind of go down a step to a B. Okay, so 2 on the A, 4 on the D, G, B. Okay, then to an open A, back to the B. Okay, and then hit that C sharp minor again. Okay, so we're just going to go through that about 3 times. Alright, so go through that 3 times, and the final time through, or once we get to that 4th time, basically we do the same thing all the way, but instead of after that last B, we're going to come all the way up and do an E chord. Okay, so a higher voiced one goes 7A, 9s on the D, G, B. Okay, so it'd just be. Alright, and that would lead us into the second part of the intro where more of the instruments come in. Okay, so this up to tempo would be something like this. Okay, second part of the intro, we get a variation of some synth chords going on here. They're a little more staccato, kind of shorter, smaller chords, but we just jump through it, and it'll be on an E. Okay, so the same spot, the 7, A, 9's on the D, G, B. Like I said, you want short little rested strums, so it's just kind of like, okay, that type of deal. So just hit it, cut it, hit it, cut it. All right, and you want to do about 6 strums there, and then add this little bit where we're add this second, the suspended second here, but do it up here where we're going to do 9 to 7 on the A. Okay, so it'd be something like, okay, that type of vibe. And from there, you just switch to an A. Okay, so 5 on the E, 7, 7 there on the A and D. Same type of deal. Hit those 6 times, short little strums, but then we add the 7 to 5 on the E. That type of thing. Okay. And after you do that a couple times, then we'll just go back to the E twice more. Right. And eventually we get to our B. Just go through that once, and it's the same as we did the A, just up 2 frets, 7 on the E, 9 on the A and D there, and then we just do the 9, 7 on the E. Right. Then you go down to your A, and then finish on the E. Alright, and then just end it with a single strum of that E, and then rest. Alright, so let's do this up to speed. All right, and that second part of the intro, we get a little bit of a guitar riffage coming in. All right, it's just going to come in with a couple of bends here initially. Do a bend on the A to the B, holding the 5 on the E under it. Just 2 bends with that. Okay, and then we do a little scale down here where we go 7 to 5B, 6 to 4G. All right, and then we do this kind of a scrape you can do, just a, all right, and then just finish on a big B power chord. So just 2A, 4 and 4 on the D and G there. So just something like, you know, something like that. And just up to tempo, it sounds something like this. All right, once the verse comes along, it kind of switched to more like an acoustic guitar sound, but we're still playing these higher voiced E power chord here. And the strum on it is, so you just want to do like a 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2. It's like a, that type of deal. So initially it's going to go through that about 6 times. It kind of adds a couple in there. Every other time I think it goes through about 4 times. So just take note of that. And from there, then you just switch to your A. So 5 on the E, 7's on the D, and A here. Same type of strum. Just do this 2 measures worth. Okay, back to the E. A couple times. B for a measure, so 7E, 9 on the A and D, to the A, finish on the E. right, and at the end of the verse, we get a little bit of a solo here. Just come up here and do 14s on the D and G, and then we go 14 D to 13 G, and then back to 14s on the D and G. So it's like, all right, and then from there we do a bend on the 16 D, release it to 14. Okay, and then a bend on 14 of the B. Okay, so it'd be something like this. Alright, now that we get to the bridge, like I said, it's kind of that progression, similar progression we saw in the beginning. The intro is a little different to it here. It's going to start with just kind of a big B chord here for a measure, so just bar at the 7, 9 on the A and D, 8 on the G. Okay, then we just go down to A, same exact shape, just take it down 2 frets, so we're at the 5th fret now. Alright, bounce between those twice. Okay, now we transition a bit. We go C sharp minor, 4 on the A, 6, 6 on the D and G, 5 on the B. Measure, F sharp now, bar the 2nd, 4 and 4 on the A and D, 3 on the G. Alright, and now we're going to see that progression we did in the intro. Okay, so we do A to B, C sharp minor, back to B, and then we do A to B, and then we repeat twice from the C sharp minor, B, A, B. Okay, go through that twice, and after you go through it twice, basically we just end on an E chord. Okay, so come up, do the 7, A, 9 on the D, G, B. Okay, so let's do it up to speed here. Alright, now we can get into the synth solo. It's kind of fun to arrange for guitar here. We're going to do 4th fret on the G, then we go 5, 7, B, and then a couple 4s on the E. Okay. Next section, similar. We do 4, G, 5, 7, B, 4, E. Okay, and then we bend that 4 on the E, release it, do 5B, 4G. And you want to do that pretty quick, and you want to do it twice. So it's something like. And after that second time, come up to the 6 on the D and bend that. Release it. All right, and from there we're going to move up. We slide up to 9 on the E, give it a bend, release. We do 10B, 9G. Okay, scale it down still. We go 12D to 11, 12A, 12E, slide it out. Next section, come back up to that 9. We do 10B, 9 on the G. Alright, and then move it down. We go 5E, 5B, 6G, and then 6D. Alright, so let's try this whole first section up to speed here. Last part of the solo here, we come up to 7 on the B, give it a kind of a long bend and release. Alright, and then from there we slide up to 9B, bend it, come off to 7, and then pull off to open. And this happens pretty quick, 3 times. It's like something... Okay, that type of deal. And you want to do it 3 times quick. Right. From there, we hit the 6D, and just do kind of a walk down, scaling down from there. We do 6D, 7, back to 6, down to 4, down to 2, and then we do 4 to 2 pull off on the D, 4 2 open on the A, 4 E to open. You can give it a little dive at the end of that open. Okay, so all together it sounds something like this. Okay, bit of an interlude section now, and kind of the similar progression that we're used to, but we just add some slightly different variations here. So we're going to hit that E up high at the 7, but now we're going to do a little suspended 4. Basically all you do is just take a pinky and put it on the 10 of the B. Okay, and you hit that, come back off to the regular E. Right, and then we move to an A6 now, and I like to do it this way, just barring 2s, D, G, B, and E with the open A, and then come off to a regular A, so that basically that high E just becomes open now. Okay, back up to the suspended 4E, off to a regular E. And then from there it's pretty similar. We just hit the B to A. Alright, and you want to repeat that B and A twice. To the E. Alright, and at the end of that interlude, and this also happens at the last choruses and all that, a guitar comes in and does this little riff, and it's going to start once you get to the B chord of that progression, alright, so towards the end. And it just does this kind of bouncing octave thing for the B and the A. Okay, so we'll be at the 7, E with the 9, D, and just bounce between those 4 times. Move it down to the 5 and the 7, same thing 4 times. And then hit the open E. And we add this funny little scale here where it's a couple 7s on the A, 6, 7, D, couple 7s on the G, 6, 7, D. So it's... Alright, fun little scale there. And like I said, that just happens at the end once you get to the B, A, E part, okay? So something like this. Thanks for checking out the video, everybody. Like it, share it, leave a comment. It's always good to hear from you. Do me a favor and hit the subscription button. I put out a video pretty frequent, so you don't want to miss out on that. Check out the links in the description box below. I have really cool links for tablature books, all the gear I use, t-shirts, fun stuff like that. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.